Hey YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. Well, today we're working on the Rzr, and as you can see, it's nowhere near me right well. It's out the door right now. The video you're about to see is on a product I bought to work on my Rzr. It's the grease. I don't know what they're exactly called, but they're for greasing the wheel bearings without pulling everything apart. And anyway, so I planned on this being a part of another video. Well, that video got too long, and I decided to make a separate video on these, kind of what I think about them, using watch the part where I work on the rear bearings, because I did actually have to kind of modify the grease thing tool to work with my rig anyway. So watch that if you don't want to watch the whole thing, so that you know what you might be getting into when you buy the cheaper ones. Otherwise, they seem to work fine. I have not really got a chance. I've driven it now, and you know, I don't notice a huge difference, but I didn't notice that it was really that bad. Anyway, when I was driving it, we drive it, and the places I've gone so far have been really tight trails, driving fairly slow, so I haven't really noticed a whole lot. I haven't done any real high-speed stuff. But regardless, I thought I'd show you this tool. It's very inexpensive compared to a lot of other tools that are similar to it, but I did have to do some work to it. So hopefully you enjoy this. This is kind of why it starts the way it does and ends the way it does. But in the midst of thinking I was going to be doing bearings, and hoping they weren't too bad, I grabbed this JDM Speed motor off Amazon. They were a really good deal, and they came in the package with 2 of them. It also came with some extra fittings here, one that's kind of bent, one that's straight, so I don't know. One of these has the curved one on it, and one has one straight coming out, so I don't know if they need to be that way on each one or if they're just giving you options. This is the 44mm one right here. I believe they're aluminum, and this one's the 40mm, so yet again, I'm not sure which one goes where. We're going to set those aside for now and start pulling this apart. It's a little bit cleaner anyhow. Now, I've never used one of these. Heck, I've never worked on one of these, so I'm not sure if this is the 44. It must be, because that went right in there. It looks like, so the smaller one either is on the back, or this one has 44, whatever that is what that is. Something I should have done actually is put like a little bit of grease or something on that. I'm going to go ahead and do it before I slap that in there again. So I put a little bit of grease on that. Now I will say I kind of looked around this whole thing, and it has this groove here, so I think the grease is supposed to go out and make the groove kind of fill up with grease, but it does only have one hole here, so you may want to turn this a few different directions here when you're doing this. And then I got this Lucas Red and Tacky. I'm not sponsoring them and all or anything like that. It's just what's in this gun right now, and I'm just gonna push that in there and see what happens. Now the thing is, they say be real careful on letting it just squeeze out a bunch of stuff. And once you see it come out at all, you want to stop. And that's 2 pumps, and then I'm going to count them out. We'll probably end up fast forwarding through this. I'm at 22 right now. And I'm not seeing any bulging or anything coming out, so I'm gonna turn this a bit. That's 30 pumps, and I don't know how many I want to put in there. I'm gonna pull this out, kind of see what we got here. I don't know. That allowed this kind of to move around a little bit more. I definitely see some of the grease in the back there and going around the edge. Don't know exactly how this thing works, but everybody swears by them, so we're just gonna put that in there and put a couple more in. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it a little bit here. Okay, I just saw this bulge a little bit, so I'm gonna stop. That was 2 more pumps. As far as this thing's concerned, there's grease in there and it didn't come out or splooge out anywhere. So hopefully it did its job, and maybe things will last a little bit longer. But who knows. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the splines here, just for a little bit of extra protection. And I found this nifty little thing for this. It's I don't know, something that was actually at my mom's when I saw it, and I said, oh, that would be perfect, and she gave it to me. So that's what I'm carrying, these in the plastic bag inside there. I got some extra cotter pins as well as the extra parts and pieces that came with this. Now I left this one first because technically, if everything is correct that I'm seeing, these are different sizes, and they are. Yet again, I need to throw a little bit of grease on there. I got a little bit right here that's from that little bit extra up there. Don't have to kill it. And I'm actually going to put some on the splines here as well. Just kind of the what's left of this, and hopefully we won't have any problems. Just shove that in there, and I'm finding the first thing I don't like is this has this curved one on here, and I think that must be for a different application. Alright, so I'm going to pull that off. And this kit comes with curved ones or elbowed ones as well as straight ones, and I'm going to yank this out of here and replace it with the straight ones. Alright, so I switched this one out with this one. Now this is a 9mm and this was a 7mm, so just so you know, it takes a couple different sizes if you need to do this. And I'm going to stick that back on there and hope I can get in there with the, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I may need to tighten this a little bit because I honestly don't think I'm going to be able to get on there with my grease gun. Yep, I'm not going to be able to get on there with that, so I am incorrect on how this works. I'm going to have to make sure that when I tighten this up, it's facing out. So I'm going to mess with this until I can figure it out. I had to actually modify it. I had to get a washer. I don't know if you can see that in there. And then I had to grind off this part of it because when I went to put it on, it wouldn't go any further than that right there. So I had to put a washer on it so that it would stop in the right direction. And yet again, grind it in here. Now, a couple things. First, don't grind it on here, obviously. Second, this is probably a different kind of metal, so there may be some corrosion problems I'm going to have to keep an eye on between those two. We shall see. Hopefully we won't have any problems until way into the future, if we do have any at all. And then hopefully this will go on here. We can start pumping some grease in. There's more grease coming out of there than I want. That's going in. Turn it here. Nope. This doesn't seem to want to stay in there very well. Okay, I see that bulging a little bit right there. So as you noticed, I had to do a little bit of work to it, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with the tool for what I paid for it. Like everything, if you pay less for it, there's a good chance, you know, similar to Harbor Freight, any tools that are cheaper, you're probably going to have to either modify them or adapt the way you use them to make, you know, make things work. But regardless, it seems to have worked. Only time will tell whether or not it got enough grease in there to make these last longer. Hopefully I'll be still doing YouTube by the time I need to change them out maybe, and you'll see a video on those, and you'll know how long it was that they lasted. Hopefully it'll be a long time from now, because I really don't want to mess with it. Although I do have to say I have a video that's going to be coming up. I have actually bought the rear bushing kit for it. So I'm going to be doing that to it pretty soon, as well as a lot of other things. So if you want to see that, go check out my Rzr'S playlist on my channel, along with the rest of my channel and the rest of my playlists. There should be something on there you enjoy. Now get out there and get your junk working. Thanks for watching Junk Works Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.